You know, we hear all the time that we're drowning in data, but I'm not talking about clicks and downloads. I'm talking about the data that is, quite literally, you. Every single day, we're generating mountains of biological information, this huge, jumbled mess of letters that makes up the very code of life. And trying to make sense of all of that, well, that's one of the biggest challenges of our time. And that's exactly where bioinformatics comes in.
So just think about this for a second. What if the secret to stopping a disease before it even starts, or the exact recipe for a medicine designed to work perfectly with your body, was already written inside every single one of your cells? I know, it sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? But it's not. This is the reality that bioinformatics is busy building, right now. Okay, so what exactly is this powerful field? The easiest way to think about it is like this. Bioinformatics is the universal translator for the language of life. You see, biology speaks in a code made of 4 letters: A's, T's, C's, and G's. Billions and billions of them. Bioinformatics uses some seriously powerful computers to translate that massive code into actual knowledge. Insights that can tell us why a drug works for you but not for your friend, or where a disease really gets its start.
And the very first place we're seeing this incredible power in action is in the doctor's office. It's creating medicine that's as unique as your own fingerprint. We are truly at the dawn of precision medicine.
It all kicks off with what we can call your genetic journey. First, your DNA is sequenced. This is like a machine speed reading the most important chapters of your genetic book, but it creates millions of tiny digital strips. The next step is called read alignment. This is where software takes on the huge job of piecing that massive jigsaw puzzle back together, using a standard human genome as the picture on the box. Then comes the really critical part, variant calling. Think of it as a spell checker for your DNA, carefully flagging every single letter that's different from the reference. And finally, those variants get annotated. This is where they're compared against huge global databases to figure out if that little genetic typo is harmless or if it might be the source of a problem.
So, once we have that unique genetic blueprint of yours, we can actually start to personalize your treatment. And that brings us to the field of pharmacogenomics. Yeah, it's a big word, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Pharmaco for drugs and genomics for genes. It's all about connecting the dots between your DNA and your medicine before you ever take a single pill.
And this is a perfect real-world example. Let's talk about the common blood thinner, warfarin. Getting the dose right on this drug is literally a life-or-death balancing act. If you have a variant in your CYP2C9 gene that makes you a poor metabolizer, a standard dose could build up to dangerous levels. But if you're an ultra-rapid metabolizer, that same dose might do nothing at all, leaving you at risk for a deadly clot. Bioinformatics reads your genes and tells the doctor exactly where you are on that spectrum, turning what used to be a guess into a precise, data-driven calculation.
But what if we could predict your risk for something long before you ever get sick? Well, that's the whole idea behind polygenic risk scores. For complex stuff like heart disease or diabetes, it's not just one bad gene. It's thousands of tiny variations working together. So imagine each of your genetic variants is a tiny weight placed on a scale. Some are heavier, meaning they have a bigger impact. Bioinformatics analyzes all of your variants, adds up all those little weights, and gives you a single score. It's a clear picture of your future health risks, empowering you and your doctor to take preventive action today.
So we can read the code. We can understand what it's telling us. But what if we could go a step further? What if we could go from just reading the code to actually writing the cure? That's the next incredible leap we're going to check out. Designing medicine in a digital world.
You know what's really wild is just how inefficient the old way of discovering drugs was. It was a literal needle in a haystack search, where scientists would physically test millions of compounds in a lab, just hoping something would work. It could take decades and cost billions. The new way, virtual screening, is totally different. It's like taking a giant magnet to that haystack. It uses computers to scan millions of digital molecules and intelligently pulls out the most promising ones right from the start.
This has totally revolutionized the entire drug discovery pipeline. First, you start with target identification, analyzing patient data to find that one key protein that's driving a disease. Then, lead discovery, where you use that virtual screening to find a molecule that can latch onto the target. And then, the really amazing part, lead optimization. Using what's called structure-based drug design, scientists basically become digital sculptors. They can digitally twist and turn the molecule at an atomic level to make it bind perfectly, like a key in a lock, and get rid of unwanted side effects.
And this digital-first way of thinking has also transformed how we develop vaccines.
The old method meant you had to physically grow dangerous pathogens in a lab. But reverse vaccinology starts with just the pathogen's genetic code. Bioinformatics tools scan that code, predict which parts will trigger a strong immune response in our bodies, and then rank them. Only the absolute top candidates ever get made and tested in a lab. It is fundamentally faster, significantly safer, and unbelievably precise.
And just when you think things can't possibly get any more futuristic, we arrive at the new frontier, one that's being powered by the single most transformative technology of our time, artificial intelligence.
For half a century, biology had its own Mount Everest, a problem so massively complex it stumped generations of the world's smartest scientists. And that problem was predicting the 3D shape of a protein just from its genetic code. This was the holy grail, because a protein's shape is everything. It dictates what that protein does in our body.
And then, AI solved it. Programs like AlphaFold just cracked the code. So why is this such a game changer? Well, imagine trying to design a key for a lock that you've never, ever seen. That was drug discovery for 100 years. By predicting a protein's shape, AI has suddenly given us a high-resolution picture of nearly every single biological lock in the human body. For the first time, we can actually start designing the perfect keys.
So the crucial point here is that AI is a force multiplier across this entire field. It's making our genomic predictions way more accurate. It's allowing us to dream up completely new medicines that have never existed before. And it's helping us finally make sense of those mysterious DNA typos, turning a doctor's "we're not sure what this means" into a clear, actionable diagnosis. And this incredible power to decode and improve biology isn't just being used in our hospitals. It's also transforming the food on our plates. The very same tools are helping us breed cattle that are naturally immune to common diseases, select for higher milk and meat yields, and create healthier herds. It's all about securing our global food supply.
But with this almost godlike power to read and predict the very code of life, that comes with some profound responsibility. For every incredible promise, there's a potential peril we have to confront.
I mean, this capability is completely unprecedented in all of human history. So we really have to ask ourselves, what new responsibilities come along with it? And these questions aren't just abstract. Who owns your genetic code? Who gets to see it? How do we protect it from being hacked or misused? Could an insurance company or an employer one day use your genes against you? And can we really trust an AI's medical recommendation when it comes from a black box? An algorithm so complex that even the people who made it don't fully understand how it decided. That's a conversation we have to have, right now.
But let's bring it all back to the incredible potential here. From therapies that can target a cancer based on its own unique genetic fingerprint to designing life-saving vaccines in record time, bioinformatics isn't just another tool. It is the core engine driving an entirely new era of health and medicine. So, the code of life is now open to us. The question for our generation is no longer if we can read it, we can. The real question is how. With wisdom and with foresight, we will choose to write the next chapter.